That's sort of the side view of the area that you're at.
And we're looking for this place called Shining White, right?
Correct.
Should we go down and take a closer look? Like have the ship land?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. So she kind of looks and she says, "Do you want me just to land in the middle, or where would you like me to land?"
I'm always the top is the best. It's easier to go down than it is to go up.
How are we going to get down from someplace that high?
Well, how are we going to get up from someplace that low?
Maybe 100 yards off or so.
And to answer your question, there's this thing called gravity.
All right. So she says, "I don't think I can really land it on the top of that anyways. Our boat's a little bigger than the top of that rock." So she lands it over here. I thought I had a symbol, but I can't find my symbol for it. So that's where we're at. There we go. Whoops. All right. So that's where you all are, is up at the top of that map. Just because there's a battle map doesn't mean there's battle. I'm just saying. Relenia, what shard would you like to have in your staff?
Well, I think I'll put the protection from cold in.
Alrighty, sounds good. Alright. And yeah, as you land, you see that these hills that are here about 20 feet high. They are easily, do appear to be easily traversed or to climb over. You feel kind of the wind sort of blowing by, and it's definitely cold here, much colder than what you would expect when you came through here before. This seems kind of unusual, but it is windy, no doubt about it.
Where do you think we should look?
In the center.
So as you guys continue to climb over, and yeah, go ahead and you can move your tokens, I think, or if you want to put where you're at, that's fine.
That's 20 foot up, right?
Yep, it is. Yeah, exactly. But you can traverse it. It's definitely got a ramp, but you can definitely go up and down, type of thing.
Do we see any like tracks or anything as we're walking up?
Yeah, so as you're kind of looking down, you do see there are indentations in the dirt, kind of from the snow. So the snow kind of comes into that little indentation, and they're very large indentations, which you've seen before, and they appear to be similar to what you would expect giant footprints to be.
Wow, I'll point this out. Looks like, is that the footsteps or whatever right there?
Yeah.
Well, it looks like there's been giants here.
Well, just because we're on a battle map doesn't mean there's going to be battle.
Right?
It also doesn't not mean that it's not going to be a battle. But if there are giants up here, we'd probably be able to see them, because it's pretty open, right?
Yeah, it is. It's very open, actually. So as you...
We kind of flew over it.
You did. You flew over. You didn't see any giants in the general vicinity. So as you get up to the second, you see that the ground around these toppled menhirs shows lots of ground that's kind of pushed down, and shows various signs of what looks like giant feet kind of all around these menhirs and things that are broken. The rock also seems to be almost large chunks and then pulverized chunks as well.
I wonder if the giants have already been here and taken whatever relic was supposed to be in this area, if this is the right place.
Yeah, I was afraid of that also.
So as you kind of go down the second sort of indentation here, you see a center hill that's there, and you see what looks like a large pile of marble, which doesn't match any of the other rocks that are here, and it appears like pieces of it were maybe slabs of marble, but there's kind of in a bunch of pieces here.
They look like they've been broken recently. Like, are they jagged or?
Yeah, they are.
smooth?
No, this is definitely probably in the last maybe week or two. These have been broken, and you do. Yeah, yep, definitely.
Do they look like they were excavated or like they were part of something like a building or a statue or
So
something?
as you get a little bit closer and look, it appears that it probably was an altar, a marble altar that's kind of been broken into a bunch of pieces. You definitely see giant footsteps kind of in the indentation part of this this area, not on the hill itself. So they probably reached over and smashed it, from what you can tell. But there's no signs of any excavation at all.
What do you guys think?
I think we may be too late.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
But it looks like there's no excavation.
No excavation. There is no dirt that's been moved. All you've seen is all these objects have been destroyed or crushed.
Does it look like there's any signs of like a fight or a battle?
No, there's no signs of smaller feet at all. You don't see any signs of dirt tore up or boulders being thrown and landed in certain positions. Hang on one second.
I think it could be that we just got here too late. Like maybe there was something on the altar and they just took it.
We should investigate the pieces of marble and see if maybe we can find any symbols on any of the broken pieces that we can kind of ascertain, who the altar was to or what it was worshiping or something like that.
Sure.
Maybe we should search too. Maybe they missed it like they did the staff.
Well, the difference was with the staff, we kind of interrupted them.
Yeah, that's true. Could have been hill giants though. They're not too bright.
All right, so you guys are up on the altar and start to try to put it back together. Are you using like a mending spell, or are you just going to kind of put the pieces and see if they all fit?
I was assuming just kind of fit the pieces or see if
Yeah.
we can see any writing or pictographs or anything like that.
Sure, absolutely. So as you kind of pick up the pieces and start to kind of put them back together, you do see that there's several pieces that do fit. There's obviously stone and marble that's missing in between them, so they don't hold necessarily. But you do see that along the edges, you see the images of griffins that are kind of carved all the way around all the sides of the altar itself. And it does appear that it was a long altar in length, but very narrow in width, probably about 3 feet in width, but probably about 15 or 20 feet in length. almost as if multiple people could be lined on both sides of the altar itself.
So what do you want to do? Do you want to keep trying to put it together?
I don't. I mean, unless anybody has any reason to do so.
No.
No, I'm good. Do we have any idea what we're looking for?
Yes, I was remembering what the oracle told us in the temple. We have to go to one of these mounds and find one of the lost relics and bring it back as tribute. So it looks like we've just happened to find one that's already been raided.
Well, that or the relic is under the altar. I mean, unfortunately, we don't know if they were able to retrieve, and the rod doesn't indicate anything, right?
Correct. And remember, the rod finds adamantine, right?
Right, that doesn't necessarily mean that the relics are adamantine.
Correct.
Right. Doesn't the rod also cast a spell like locate object or something like that?
I think Stig can do locate object, I think.
Yeah, I don't have it trained right now. I'll probably
But
put
you
it on.
I think you gotta know what you're looking for, though, right?
Yeah, I think you have to
Right.
know
Yeah.
object, yep.
Well, do we want to dig around under the altar to see if there's anything under there?
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah, investigate for some clues.
Sounds great. Why don't I have an investigation roll to see where you guys want to dig? Or are you going to dig right in the center of the altar?
I think dig right in front of the altar, and I say to everybody, hey, everybody stand back real quick. And I'll cast Erupting Earth underneath, or in that spot, to kind of break everything free. And
20 feet, I
and-
think, right?
Yeah, so
20
we
feet.
can
Perfect.
dig easier or whatever.
So as Relenia casts Erupting Earth, you see the earth rocks kind of fly up in the air, and as it does, you see a porcelain mask come shooting up. A large mask that seems like it would fit a giant, and then lands on top of the rubble.
Woohoo! Go Relenia. It's your birthday. Go Relenia.
So the mask itself is very well painted. Seems to have what looks like pictures of clouds and storms across them. And it's very big, and it's broken in half. And it looks like each one weighs about 20 pounds. And when you bring it together, it bears what looks like the image of a face out of all those pictures that bears a fearsome scowl.
This doesn't match the scowl that was on the. Oh, well, I wouldn't even know about that. I think I was dead before that.
No problem.
It's too big for me to mend.
Yes, it is.
Do we think this is one of the relics?
I'll cast Detect Magic ritually.
Okay, alrighty, sounds good. So you take about 10 minutes. So you kind of cast the spell to detect magic. It doesn't show any signs of magical effects to it at all. But that being said, you don't see anything else other than your fellow party mates having magical items.
Well, it's not magical.
So I look at the two pieces and I'm like, well, maybe I can fix it. And I pull out my string and I start trying to tie it together.
Alrighty. So Melton's has some string, and he's trying to tie these two huge porcelain masks that weigh 20 pounds apiece, trying to tie them together.
Don't know that you're going to be successful with that.
Always a downer. Always somebody. Always with the negative waves.
No, I'll give you some guidance on that. See, if you just like wind it through that hole and wrap it over, maybe it'll work.
So I guess we'll do an acrobatics. Are you trying to deftly bring the pieces together? Oh wow! It actually looks pretty good. So we can tie it together. It's held pretty tightly, yeah. So you'd have to use rope though. You couldn't use string because it's pretty big. But yeah. So he's got it tied up pretty nice and neat. The pieces fit together quite well, and it's sitting there together, even though there's a large crack down the center.
We can take it with us. Do we think this would be sufficient as a tribute since it's broken?
Well, they didn't say it had to be not broken, did they?
No. Let's take it back to the ship anyway.
I'm gonna dig around a little bit more too, just to make sure.
Okay. How long would you like to spend digging?
Oh, geez, I don't know. How long do we want to spend digging, team? Half hour or something? Just looking around, make sure.
Yeah, how long have we been up here already?
You've been here about 30 minutes now.
Sure, we can stay for longer. I mean, it's not like we're on a timeline or anything.
Okay.
Right.
So about a half hour?
Yeah, half hour.
Yeah, so you kind of dig through the dirt there, and you find various what looks like bones of certain types. May have been long lost relatives that now are muddled up in the erupted earth. You do find some small bowls, and there's definitely some trinkets and whatnot that don't appear to be of any significant value. Maybe they were religious items and whatnot, but nothing else that appears to be what you would expect a giant relic to look like.
All right.
And these other rocks, they're just menhirs.
Yeah, they're broken menhirs, so they look like they were large, like Stonehenge, right? Rocks that were upright in four corners around this altar, and they're all destroyed and sort of in piles of rubble. They also are marble as well, but they don't appear to be similar to the altar shape. This is much bigger pieces of rubble.
Okay, while Stig is doing his investigation, I'll walk around and take a look at those and just see if there's any like runes or anything that we recognize.
Oh, okay, cool. That sounds good. So as you kind of look through, you also see that these have carvings of what appears to be griffins, and there's pictures of these griffins attacking what looks like horses and wildlife and things of the sort.
Hey, looking at our map that I have here, it looks like we're not far from a place called Griffin's Nest. Do we know anything about that location? Is it a town, or what is it?
I think your map is incorrect and that probably shouldn't be on the map.
So Griffin's Nest is
That's the Sword Coast.
Yeah, the Sword
map.
Coast map. Yeah, that's okay. I'd rather have you. Yeah, you can ask. So there does appear to be in that location that you flew by. There was sort of a wooden palisade atop of a hilltop, and you saw a small village there. But you don't know much else beyond that.
So we do. So do we know that that's the town or something of Griffin's Nest, or was that
It's just in
weren't
that general
supposed to know
location. No, it's in that general location. So when you guys were flying over, there's a kind of a wooden palisade that was in that general
Right, okay.
position. Yep, with a hilltop village, rude huts and longhouses.
Hey, Linnea, do you know if there is like a barbarian tribe of the Griffins?
No, I'm not positive on that.
You mentioned in your vision that you had something about the Uthgard barbarians. I was just
Yeah,
curious
that's
if there are
the-
any Griffins.
That was the Tree Ghost tribe,
Correct.
and I hadn't seen any. I did not see any griffins in my my story, my whatever it was.
That's right.
Do we know what tribe Nori was? The gal that the one we found up at the
Why don't we go ahead, except for Melton, who's not from the overworld, why don't we go ahead and have everybody make a history roll for me? And then you do know that she was part of the Grey Wolf tribe, because I think it was the Grey Wolf or Grey Worm tribe. Let's see. All right. So Stig, nice roll, by the way. You do recognize or identify that there are definitely different factions of the barbarians, and you do know that there is a faction that's a Griffin faction. There is also several other factions, and hang on one sec while I grab all the other factions so I can tell you. You know that there's a tribe of the bear, a tribe of the elk, tiger, nope, wrong one, sorry. There's a black lion tribe, a black raven tribe, a blue bear tribe, an elk tribe, gray wolf, great worm, griffin, red tiger, sky pony, thunder beast, tree ghost.
I believe the halflings that we met a while back said that I think it was the bear tribe. It's been so long I don't quite remember, but I do remember they're talking about the Uthgard barbarians down there.
I am an anthropologist, so
Yes, that's true. You are an anthropologist. I forgot about that. You're absolutely right. You should be,
my role went with my
yeah,
background.
should be giving you advantage for some of these roles, to be honest with you. So thank you for reminding me your background.
He said that was the Grey Wolf tribe.
Correct, Grey Wolf.
That was Rowan Battlemore. Is the halflings you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the Grey Wolf barbarians they were missing. The entire tribe was missing, apparently.
So the half hour for the digging's up.
Yes,
Okay.
the half hour for the digging is up. Yep, so you guys have been on site for about an hour now.
I'll go up and check this one up.
Yeah,
This one out
okay.
by the tail.
You guys are going to check all of them to kind of see where things are at?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead and give me an investigation for each of you. Perfect. Wow. Wonderful rolls. Wonderful. Plus one.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, right? And no ones. There was no ones there. So, anyways, you guys search these and you don't see anything else of significance. Melton actually had a fairly good roll, but Melton, you don't see anything either.
How tall is this big mound?
You estimate it's anywhere between 250 to 300 feet high.
I wonder if there'd be something up top there.
Is anyone proficient in climbing feel like trying to scale it?
William told me he was all up for it.
I mean, I got rope.
Could you wild shape up there?
Yeah, I can always transform into something and climb up there.
Do you want to do that just to be thorough?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. What are you going to wild shape into?
I'll transform into a mountain goat.
Nice. Alrighty. So you transform into a mountain goat and kind of bob your way up.
All right, and
So you
do I
kind of
just
yeah.
make it up there, or do I have to roll?
Yeah,
or-
no, you don't have to roll. I think mountain goats are proficient. They can climb just about anything. So you kind of get up towards the top of the spire that's there. The wind is kind of blowing and it's cold. And yeah, you get up to the top.
And I'll kind of walk around and kick some rocks and look to see if I can recognize anything. And then if I see anything, I'll go ahead and
Yeah.
drop my wild shape.
No problem. So you kind of kick around and whatnot. It's pretty barren up here, but as you kick the snow away, and you notice it's a chalky white, and it does kind of peel off pretty easily. And you see that there's kind of this chalky white underneath, but you don't find anything that appears to be of any significance, or that there's been any digging or any exploration at the top of this recently.
Like chalky white, like it's a mineral, or like it was painted, or
No, like a mineral, like it's a mineral of some sort.
like a marble.
Yeah, kind of like a marble.
All right. I'll go ahead and drop wild shape, and then I'll kind of dig some more and see if it's another altar or something like that.
Yeah. So you take some time and you dig up there. How long do you want to dig for?
Well, I guess as long as it takes to determine whether it's natural
Fair
or
enough.
man-made.
Yep. So you kind of why don't you give me an investigation check? That'll determine how long it takes for you to figure out whether it's something or not.
Oh boy.
You have a great investigation. It's at least
And
positive.
I lived for like 800 years, so I guess I don't have to worry about dying of old age.
Right. The rest of the group will be long gone. Oh, yeah. So you dig maybe about 5 minutes, and then you determine that this definitely is natural, hasn't been made, and it doesn't appear to be consistent with the marble that you saw down below. You feel very confident that there's really nothing of interest up here at the top.
Okay. Can I find a place where I think it would be safe to shimmy down, or
Yeah.
or do I feel like I'd have to wild shape again to get down?
You probably would have to wild shape without a roll, but you think you probably can work your way down. I would just need probably an athletics check to make sure you're okay.
All right, I'll go ahead and waste my rope
Okay.
and tie it off, and then
Work
go
your way
ahead
down.
and yeah.
Perfect. So you do that and kind of shimmy back down the side of that mountain without much difficulty at all, and or that hill, I should say, and get down to the bottom.
So it looks like just a mound. It looked like there was marble or some sort of stone like that up there, but it doesn't look like it's been shaped or anything. It looks like a natural formation.
Huh. Well, I guess it was better to be thorough.
So should we try to take well, should we go visit that Griffin village, or should we take this mask and maybe see if take it back to the Oracle?
Do we need to visit that place?
Well, I just thought maybe they could give us some information on what the if this is like their burial ground, or their sacred place, if they knew anything about it, or if they knew that it had been raided by the giants and such. Just for like general information.
Do we want to hit another place before we go back to the Oracle?
I think so, just in case this one, because it's broken. You never know how oracles are,
Yeah, it's a lot of travel time too.
right?
What's the next one we'd like to go to?
Well, we could either head diagonally down to Flint Rock, or we could head over towards Silvery Moon, down to Everland, and then down to Grandfather Tree.
Doesn't matter to me.
Yep, me neither.
Do you have a preference, Barry?
I do not.
Do we see which way these giants left? What direction they left in?
Yeah, so it appears that they headed off to the east.
Do you guys think maybe they headed off with something? Because if they didn't find anything, why would they have quit?
I was just wondering if they went towards like another mound that was close by.
Well, Harshnag marked all of them that he knew of. So, if they headed off to the east, there's really nothing directly to the east. I mean, we've got the one closest to the south would be the Flint Rock.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys think? What do you want to do?
I'm leaning towards Flint Rock.
All right, that works for me.
All right, so you guys take the porcelain mask back with you, I assume?
Yes.
Alrighty. And as you get onto the boat, Zathalia says, we're going to do some looting, huh? I like it. And they kind of help you bring that up with a small little rope crane that they have on the side, and kind of pull it up onto the deck and try to fit it underneath. And they're like, it won't fit underneath. And they sort of lash it to the top of the deck.
While we're traveling, I'm going to do some research on it. I'm going to go through my Volo's Guide to Giants and see if I can find any information about the mask.
Sure, sounds great.